Alright, good evening guys. How you guys doing? Cool. We're on the never-ending Sanguinary Guard. Starting early tonight, yeah. I mean, the baby went to bed early, so got a little bit of time more. We need all the time we can get. So I was looking, and I think last time I told you guys I have a set of these Citadel, what are they? Synthetic brushes. And I'm at the stage where I need to be doing some dry brushing on this Sanguinary Guard, because I dry brush the wings white. So what I was thinking I'd do is I'd try out this oh, those bristles are firm, holy shit. Like, look at, there is literally, can you see that? There's literally no movement in those bristles at all. Like wow, let me put a little bit of water on it and see. Alright, there's a little bit of movement with the synthetic bristles, huh? And then this is a synthetic So this is a small dry brush on the left, and this is the synthetic small. Hey, thanks for subscribing, dude. How you doing? Give it a wash before using it. Do you know what? We can leave some cold water on it. So it's maybe like there's essentially, I suppose they're supposed to be the same size, right? It's maybe slightly smaller, which is maybe not a bad thing, because sometimes when you're dry brushing, I always think this like I would like a smaller dry brush in this. I mean, maybe other companies do it, but like I typically buy dry brushes from Citadel. Hey, good evening, Joseph. Good evening, Robert. Hey, Jeffrey. Hey, Jace. You're assembling the Sanguinary Guard. Well, I'm a few steps ahead of you there. But we are going to be doing dry brushing on the wings tonight, and I got 7 to get through. So, I do really want to try. Do you know what? Maybe the synthetic dry brush will be okay once we. Do you know what? We'll leave some water on it for like 5 minutes while we do the first one, and then we'll decide. I do want to try out these synthetic brushes because they are. I actually don't know what the difference in price between the synthetic one was, but I've been using this other synthetic one now for a while. I want to say maybe I've done like 20 hours of painting on it compared to an Element Games character brush that's done about the same 20 hours. And while they're, you know, just in their natural form, when they're not wet or anything, they look about the same. If anything, the synthetic looks like it's holding its point better, but I feel like when it actually comes to painting, the Element Games brush is a lot better. But I've been impressed with these synthetic brushes, actually. Normally I hate Games Workshop brushes. Normally they're really expensive and they don't last at all. I bought an Artificer brush, which was like $15 and got like 2 paint sessions out of it. It was terrible. I literally bought a layer brush over the pandemic, which was about $5-6 because there was no other. Hey Infernal, thanks for subscribing. There was nowhere else that was selling the brushes that was after, and it was terrible as well. So this synthetic one has actually been okay. So big shout out to 2 Hit 2 Wound. Oh, you're in the chat, 2 Hit 2 Wound. Big shout out to you for sending over these synthetic brushes. I've been enjoying using this one. It hasn't been nearly as bad as the other Games Workshop brushes. Got a small delivery today, a Gravis Captain Heavy Intercessors. Nice, Robert. I have a game for tomorrow evening against the Admech, says Mark. Haven't you got a bit of brush soap to give it a clean up? Do you know what? That has actually been cleaned up with brush soap. I think just because I've been painting a lot of dark colours, because these bristles are white, I think they're just kind of stained. But I actually think it's been okay. I'll work out how many hours. Like I believe they're only about 350, these brushes. So, like at the moment, getting 20 hours out of a 350 brush is possibly okay. If we can get to like 50 or 100 hours, then you're literally talking like 30 hours for £1. So at that point, it's not bad. So we'll see. And where I'm starting tonight is, can we see your Blade Guards and Eradicators? I don't have any finished Blade Guards. I have, these are on the painting table behind me. These guys aren't finished though. But I did them in sort of like this gold scheme, I guess. I have a bit to do here. I wasn't happy with the white on the shield. I wanted to do like another coat of white on the shield. I obviously was going to wash all the metallics, and typically when I finish models in gold, I actually wash them in like Reichland Flesh Shade, and that, if you look at the model on the left being washed in the Flesh Shade, this model on the right obviously hasn't been washed. You see how it takes the gold from like Retributor's gold to a more like ready gold, I guess. So yeah, I don't actually have any. I'm working on finishing these 3 Blade Guards as well. They're the ones that I'm painting. I'm painting Blade Guard off stream. I have 7 of them, and I was painting the Sanguinary Guard on stream. And then yeah, because I had my little. This is what I need to paint for my army at the moment. Like I need to. I finished the Librarian Dreadnought, so we've got Blade Guard Veterans and Sanguinary Guard finished. Then we've got 5 Lightning Claw Vanguard Vets these are, because I already have loads of others painted. And then I think I'm painting Inceptors, and I actually bought Cotias just this week. I'll show you. I think he's on my windowsill here. Yeah. So I bought Cotias this week, the Inquisitor, thanks to Highland Phoenix telling me that this guy is awesome. I cut off his head though. I didn't really like his head, so I actually just cut his head off and put a Space Marine head on him. It's a little bit bulky compared to the size of the model, but like, I didn't know if I overly cared. I didn't spray the back of him gold because I figured his cape in that wasn't going to be gold, so I just sprayed the front of him gold. So he's gonna join my sort of golden scheme. Maybe I'll paint him on stream as well. I bought a cheap £3 brush set from the works, and I'm still not mad. They kept their tips so far, and the large ones were useful for the tanks. Yeah, I bought a set of really cheap brushes off Amazon, and it was the same thing. Yeah, and we've got the wet palette coming, so you guys can finally get off my back about the wet palette. We pre-ordered one on Kickstarter. Good evening, Stoppinator. Good evening, Mike. How you doing? The Vosk says, I never catch you live. My first model is Imperial Knight, and I was wondering what type of Imp Knight would be viable in a fun game of Suit Blood Angels. I like the Crusader. I think I forget what the weapon's called. Is it like the heavy Gatling cannon? It's like, oh, I'll look it up. It's the Crusader. I kind of want to buy a Crusader. Maybe when I finish my backlog, I'm going to buy the Crusader. Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, that's the one. Heavy 2d6, strength 8 -2, 3 damage blast. I feel like that's going to cause people a lot of problems. He's equipped with a thermal cannon, the Gatling cannon, and I think you swap out the thermal cannon for the Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, yeah. So you have a Rapid Fire Battle Cannon, you have the Avenger Gatling Cannon, which is a heavy 12, strength 6 -2, 2 damage. Yeah, that's really good. For 505 points, I'd make a Crusader if I were you. That's the one I'm going to make. And I wouldn't even worry about arming it with any sort of melee weapons, because you can just use its feet. Its feet are pretty decent, right? Strength 8 -2, D3 damage, and you make 3 hit rolls instead of 1, so you get 12 attacks with the feet. It seems pretty good. Finally magnetized my Executioner. I think Executor, my first model, is complete now. On to the other 200. Oh, I know the feeling, man. Howdy, bro. Say, Jeff. Good evening. Have you heard about the big Black Templar news, John? Apparently we're getting a huge release with 5 characters, 2 upgrade sprues, and 2 new Primaris units. I have not heard about that, Robert. I mean, that'd be awesome if they got that, but like, when do Blood Angels get our big release with 5 new characters? Or I don't even know why I'm shaking this paint. This is literally this is a dry paint, so it's not going to need shaked. Or shuken, sorry. You guys know my English sucks. So, see, when I'm dry brushing like this, I actually like to have a palette like this that's super dirty, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this palette to work out like how much paint I have in my brushes, right? So what I do is I get the paint into the bristles like so. I'll work it out, like I'll spread it into the bristles a bit, right? And then, like, for dry brushing, you need to remove a lot of the paint. So I like a dirty palette, especially when you're doing the white. So I'll work out like a lot of the paint onto the palette, and then also use the edge of the palette like this to basically see how much paint's coming out the brush. Get it to a point where like the brush isn't overloaded, or I'm happy with it. It's probably one of the reasons that I'm so slow at painting. Maybe there's a better way to do this, but something like that. And then it's just a case of dry brush some Sanguinary Guard wings. And it's a very quick and easy method of doing the wings. And I think it I feel like it kind of gives a pretty good effect. check out Chapter Master Valorix. I'm actually subscribed to Valorix, or maybe if I'm not subscribed, I do watch him quite often, so I'll have a look for it. How did he get the leak? Or where exactly did the leak come from? Because there's also supposed to be a leak about like a new plastic Spartan tank coming, right, for Horus Heresy, and that seems pretty interesting to me. So I haven't painted Sanguinary Guard wings in ages this way, so what I'm going to do is actually get a finished model and compare, because I actually have no idea how much white I put into these. Probably a bit more actually. Maybe I wasn't as efficient as taking paint out of the brush before. Greeting Marcel, how you doing? You can see one of the new characters already? Oh, cool. Well, I mean, it'd be nice if they did start giving the Marine chapters. I mean, it seems strange that they're going to do that, though, when they haven't got everybody their 9th edition codex yet. But, I mean, I guess unless that's Black Templars getting their 9th edition one. Trusted source, he said. Okay. Don't know if it's just really hot at the moment. I mean, it is the middle of summer, right? So, like, did a lot of that paint just dry in the brush before I used it, or was I chatting too much? Could be a bit of both. But yeah, we got 8 sets of wings to get through tonight, and then onwards and upwards to whatever's next with these guys. Actually, looks like I kind of forgot to wash the bottom of this guy's wings. We might need to tidy that up. Yeah, that one, that's weird. I don't know if I forgot to wash that wing. We got Death Company Intercessors, don't be greedy. Oh man. I don't know, I feel like it's 1 in 10 Blood Angels players actually runs Death Company Intercessors. They're just, for me, they just don't hit the mark, right? And I think the biggest thing is just their mobility. Like I think for Primaris units, if they'd wanted them to be really useful, all they needed to do was throw a jump pack on them. And I mean, Reavers were kind of halfway there, right? Because they had those deep strike jump packs on the Reavers. Like, they could have just given some Reaver weapon options. People would probably really liked that, because the Reavers have those like really kick-ass looking helmets, and like nobody runs Reavers. Like, they changed the Reavers this edition, right? But like, they changed them the wrong way. Like, they gave their gun like an extra 1 AP, and they didn't give the blade 1 AP, and it needed to be the other way around. That would have, if they'd done it the other way around, I bet you people would have been running Reavers. But the way they did it was just, it was the wrong way. I mean, anyone could see that it was the wrong way as well, right? Like, no one was like, wow, we'll play Reavers if they give the bolt pistol an additional -1 AP. Like, no one was thinking that. 1 in 10 seems optimistic. Yeah, you're right, Tony. It's way more than, it's way worse than 1 in 10, isn't it? It's more like, yeah, probably 1 in 50 people are playing Reavers. So, Tony is actually the star of the show in tomorrow's not battle report. In tomorrow's tactics video, we actually have Tony from the chat in the video. So, tomorrow's tactics video is a little bit different from what you guys are normally tune in and see on a Friday, but I'm hoping that people really enjoy it actually. And it was, I think it was a cool video. It was a cool idea, and yeah, I'll be going out tomorrow around lunchtime UK time, so definitely check out the channel tomorrow if you want to see a sort of different tactics video, but also one that's going to be, I think it's going to be useful for people that build army lists. How would you run as an escort for the Sanguinary Priest that is your warlord? I mean, I don't run the Sanguinary Priest as my warlord. I mean, I guess you run him as your warlord, what, so you can sit with the Sanguinary Guard and give them the 6+ feel no pain, and at that point, does that not sort of by de facto mean that you have to run him with the Sanguinary Guard? Because you want the +1 to hit from being next to the warlord. Like I assume that's why you run him as your warlord, right? Like what? Why else would you have the Sanguinary Priest as your warlord, right? I mean, making him the warlord is going to also paint a big target on his back for assassinate because it gives that extra victory point, right? So, only reason I've bought Reavers is the same reason I bought an Age of Sigmar. Do you know what? I bought Reavers right when they came out. Like, the moment they came out, when I was very naive and I didn't know that, I guess I didn't know that they sucked. And I assumed that even if they did suck, it was right at the beginning of 8th edition, so I guess I assumed that they would just fix them. 1 second, I need to grab some paint. But yeah, it turns out they didn't fix them. I don't have Sanguinary Guard. Well, yeah. Then I double down on my question. Why is the Sanguinary Priest your warlord? Like what's the reason for him being your warlord if you don't even have him? If you don't like can't he just be a hero of the chapter or something and have someone else as the warlord? Right, I'm going to have to put him at the side because I kind of screwed up, I guess. Missed a bit of the washing on him. I disagree that Reavers are actually good. You know, what are they? 5 points cheaper than Assault Intercessors, but minus 1 AP on all their attacks. I mean, I don't know. AP 0 close combat just doesn't excite me, man. Doesn't matter how many attacks you get. AP 0, I guess it just, I don't rate AP 0. I guess. BAC is overstating your involvement. Oh, you'll see. You guys will see tomorrow. Tony, we had Tony and we had Mark on this week's video, and those guys were very, very helpful. I think it's going to be a really interesting video, and if you like it, well, we're hoping that people like it, right? Because we'd like to make more videos like that. So I'm not overstating it. It's fine. Let me just boot up some more music. That playlist finished. I heard you go to bed at 12 a.m. Do all brothers of the blood do this? Well, I get up at 7 a.m. every day, man. Even on weekends, I get up at 7 a.m. because I have a very young daughter, and literally the only time I can get peace on the weekends to do some painting is at 7 a.m. Or if I wanted to play a video game, literally the only time I would get peace is like until she gets up at 9 a.m. So yeah, I get up at 7 a.m. every day, even on the weekends. So it is what it is, I guess. Some people maybe like to stay up late. I like to get up early. I want Reavers to be good, but I feel like they could be worth it if they're Death Company. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Like, I run an Apothecary in all my battles. Or I run the Sanguinary Priest in, like, all my battle reports. It's absolutely fine to have a Sanguinary Priest. I guess the question, though, is, like, why do you think he needs to be the Warlord? Like, I understand the logic behind putting him as the Warlord if you were going to run Sanguinary Guard with him, so that they can heal the Sanguinary Guard and also so you can heal Sanguinary Guard and also grant them the +1 to attack, right? Or the +1 to hit. But if you're not necessarily doing that, then I'd run him as a hero of the chapter and run something else as your Warlord. Like the priest already has a big enough target on his back, right? People want to kill the priest because the priest can provide a lot of value for you with his heals and stuff. So there's no reason to give up to another victory point on him, I feel like. If you were going to pick one Death Company unit for the new player, what would you pick? I mean, I'd pick Firstborn Death Company 100%. They are the best Death Company unit that you can get. I mean, I run a Death Company captain for like a list that had like like 11 wins in a row. I didn't think it was bad, but I think if you're new and you want to try out Death Company properly, then I think you want just Firstborn Death Company, and you want them with jump packs, and you want most of the squad with bolt pistols and chain swords. You can put a few special weapons in there, but like 80%, 70% of the squad should be the de facto loadout, because they're nice and cheap, and they do still get 6 attacks in close combat. Considering how cheap they are, that's actually like really valuable. You're welcome, Anthony. Hi from Sweden. Hey, hello from Sweden. How are you doing? Okay, Steel Rain's going to say Death Company Dread. Do you know what? Death Company Dread actually isn't a bad shout, but I guess if you're brand new and you're wanting to try the Death Company, then I would say regular Firstborn Death Company. But you know what? Death Company Dread, actually, we've talked a lot about that actually in Discord, me and Steel Rain. And yeah, I think just because you're new, I would go Firstborn, but the value of the Death Company Dreadnought is pretty good right now, I think. Like I said, we've talked about it a lot. Why did Dante get shafted compared to newer releases? Yeah, that is the question, right? And I was kind of a little bit mad on Monday night. Hey Rick, thanks for subscribing. I was a little bit mad on Monday night on our live game against the Sisters of Battle, because when Andrew was telling me the rules for that Morgan Val Supreme Commander, it was just like one crazy strong rule after another. It was disgusting, really. And I was definitely a little bit mad about it. And I don't remember who it was in the chat, but someone in the chat basically was like, I wish whoever wrote this Sisters of Battle book or codex would have written the Blood Angels codex, because they just seem leagues apart. And like, yeah, the one thing I suppose, like, Dante is weak, and some people still swear by Dante. I personally do not run Dante. I have no inclination to run him. I don't think he's strong enough this edition, so I run the custom chapter master. And I guess the one thing to say is at least we can build a really strong custom chapter master, I guess, right? And if you haven't built a strong chapter master, then, you know, I've done a couple of videos on it. I'm happy to answer questions on it, and I'm actually going to build a custom chapter master with a jump pack next. Actually, I'm sitting on that window over there ready to get painted, just because, like, obviously the one I run is on a bike, but I do still believe you can run a strong chapter master that has wings. And I think that's maybe why some people don't like my chapter master, because it's on a bike and they're like, Blood Angels need to fly. I don't necessarily agree that we need to fly. I think our flying is cool. But yeah, I'm gonna build a chapter master that flies as well, just so that we can show people that you can run a stronger chapter master that's not Dante that flies. And I guess that's my issue with Dante. Like, even if we were allowed to maybe change his warlord trait to Gift of Foresight, would be huge. Because let's face it, like, how many times in a battle do Blood Angels fail leadership, right? Like, I pretty much always take Oath of Moment, and like, I maybe fail leadership, what, like once a battle? If that. Most of the time I never fail leadership. So that's like half of Dante's warlord trait nullified right there, because he gives you +1 to leadership. Like, whoop-de-doo, I don't ever fail leadership, or I fail leadership once every 4 or 5 games. It's not enough of a reason to include him, and that's, you know, it's my opinion. Some people have very strong opinions on Dante and why he's still good. Isn't a Death Company Dread Firstborn? Yeah, technically I suppose the Death Company Dread is Firstborn, that's correct. If you don't run a ton of Sanguinary Guard, you should get Primus Apothecary then? I mean, no, because the Sanguinary Priest gives you the ability to put any core unit into Assault Doctrine from turn 1 and 2, right? So pretty much you're always going to have a unit in turn 1 or 2 that's going to benefit from being an Assault Doctrine, whether you go first or second, because if you go first, maybe you can make a turn 2 charge. If you go second, maybe you're going to get charged in turn 2. So I feel like there's always a benefit to having the Priest there, because the Priest over an Apothecary, right? Yeah, I mean, you maybe just don't need them with a jump pack, I guess, if you don't have that many like if you don't have Sanguinary Guard or units that are going to need to jump around. For a list with 3 Plasma Scepters, would it be better if a squad of Vanguard Veterans or Redemptor Dread? And if Dread, would it make more sense to run Tech Marine instead of a Sanguinary Priest since I'm using 3? I don't know. I mean, my list has 1 Dread in it, right? Or 2 Dreads actually, because we run the Librarian Dreadnought and also the Redemptor Dreadnought, and I run the Priest. I had considered dropping the Priest when his cost went up, right? Because like it is a big cost for him, but like he's still really good, you know. Like a couple of revives or resurrects, whatever you want to call them, per game, and like you're pretty much making your points back without too much trouble. I haven't felt like they didn't change any of his abilities, right? He's still as strong as he always was. They just made him 20 points more. Like, yeah, I've run him in 3 games now, I believe, and like, he's still strong. I'm going to continue to run him. He's, you know, is he balanced at 155 points, or is he too high? Maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, but I still think there's a lot of value in the Priest. Do lieutenants get used much? You know, earlier, I was going to say, because they made some changes, right? The Priest used to not give you a Feel No Pain. It used to be the Sanguinary Ancient that gave you the Feel No Pain. And back then, like, I ran lieutenants all the time. But now that our HQ slots are a bit more limiting, then I have a lot of lieutenants that sit on the shelf, honestly. Jeff, I'm sure lieutenants will come back at some point. But maybe it's just not happening right now. Hold on, drop my brush. And it's gone underneath the computer. You're shitting me. It's literally gone. Oh, I got lucky. Oh, cool. Managed to ping the back end of out. The Blood Angels Codex Field was written in the intent to be updated later in 9th edition. I mean, that kind of happened with the Psychic Awakening books last edition, did that not? Because Blood Angels were really weak in 8th edition, and then we got the Blood of Baal book. I don't know why I keep shaking this paint. It's a dry paint. It's just habit, I guess. We got that Blood of Baal book, which was the book that I believe introduced Savage Echoes, and all of a sudden we went like basically god tier for a little while. So maybe that'll happen. You know, they are already releasing those books. Like there was like the Charadon booker for that had Death Guard rules and stuff in it. So thoughts on Gabriel, Seth, and 9th? I mean, Seth's great, but I feel like you need a drop pod to make Seth work. I mean, you could do it with rhinos, but I feel like it's best out of a drop pod. We've seen a few Flesh Tears lists that I think could work pretty well with like drop pods and chapter champions and icons of the angels. How many Sanguinary Guard do I need to paint? Is 25 enough? I mean, you need to paint them with because this is why I'm painting Sanguinary Guard again. You need to paint Sanguinary Guard with swords and axes. Any other weapon right now is pointless. But that's the thing, it doesn't always stay that way. So at some point in the future, some of the other weapon options may be viable again. But the way I see it right now is swords and axes are the best. But in previous editions, Power Fists were pretty good. I used to really like Power Fists on the Sanguinary Guard. But like I only run a squad of 8 in my current list, so take that as what you may, I guess. Like I don't actually think we need to be. I think if you had 8 with swords and axes, that's all you need right now. But I mean, I guess you could double up on them if you really want to. My problem is I don't find Sanguinary Guard that survivable. They just die. You know, if the enemy puts any sort of heavy pressure on them, they just die very quickly. They're only Marines with 2 wounds. I mean, they only have +1 to save over a normal Marine, you know? And there's so many friggin' Meltagons and stuff rolling around right now. If people want to start taking them out, and like I play Andrew every week, and he's quite happy to throw multi-melta fire into the Sanguinary Guard, you know? And when you're losing a Marine for every failed save, when you're only saving on 6s and they're 32 points per model, it's pretty brutal. Come on, England. Oh, Mike. Mike, you guys in England, you better not win tomorrow, because that'll be the end of our tournament if you win. I think it's on TV at 8 o'clock tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a good game anyway. Why can't I find a lieutenant in Phobos armor? There's a lieutenant in Reaver armor. I don't know if there is a lieutenant in Phobos armor. Is there? I don't think there was ever a lieutenant made in Phobos armor. There's a lieutenant in a Reaver armor. But I'm drawing a blank. I don't think there was a lieutenant in Phobos armor. Maybe there was. They're all over eBay? Okay. How many Marines do you normally take in a Vanguard veteran squad? Lieutenant in Phobos armor. I need to look this up. I'm just drawing a blank. I've probably got the model and I've probably got it painted. Oh, the lieutenant in Phobos armor is the Reaver lieutenant. I think that's the problem. Like, he's not called... I guess if you go to Games Workshop's website and you search Reaver lieutenant, you're probably going to find him. But he is a lieutenant in Phobos armor. Okay. Or is he? Is he a lieutenant in... Oh yeah, there's two different ones. It's from the Vanguard box. Okay, yeah. I was trying to remember because there's this guy here. And then there's this guy. So I have this guy. This one. But I don't remember where I got him. But I don't have this other one. I don't know where he came from. Oh, so he's the Reaver lieutenant. Alright, and then this other guy must just be the lieutenant in Phobos armor. So he's probably from like the Start Collecting Vanguard box then. I just finished mine today and put it on Discord. Alright, cool. I'll check it out. I kind of had a busy day at work today, so I haven't really checked Discord. My work goes like that sometimes. Shit hits the fan and then it's just like... You just end up being very, very busy. I think these wings look pretty good considering how easy a method this is to paint them, you know? I'm gonna see that one that had the bit missed, yeah. This bit here, we'll fix that just now. France is gonna win this Euro? I mean, maybe. Italy looked pretty good last night though, didn't they? I think that I think the lieutenants just kind of are in a tough spot right now. I mean, I guess they're not bad lieutenants. You know, the rerolls to wound aren't bad. You know, like it's a decent enough mechanic and it's useful, but like as Blood Angels right now, we get so many strong HQ choices, I guess, right? Like the Sanguinary Priest is almost an auto include. And I guess previously, like at the start of this edition, I didn't even run Sanguinary Priests. So yeah, that, and then usually you see like a Chapter Master or something like that. So combine up the Chapter Master, then you got one other HQ. A Librarian and a Chaplain are also really strong right now. So most people are taking that utility librarian or something like that. What genre of music do I like? I actually listen to pretty heavy metal. This stuff that's on in the background of the stream, I like this. I like when I'm working or something, I like something chilled like this. Like, no, I prefer music with no words when I'm doing that. But like, if we're actually talking, like if we're actually talking music to like listen to and sing along to, or whatever you would talk it, like probably like metal / heavy rock is where I land on music. Hey, good evening, Highland. How you doing? Good evening, Doctor. Lieutenant should be elite rather than HQ. Yeah, maybe. I mean, both of our elites and HQ choices are stacked, so I think if you moved it from HQ to elite, you'd probably still end up not picking them because there's something else that you would like. But yeah, it's you can take 2 lieutenants. I mean, I guess that's the advantage of it, right? Like, and I actually don't know this, but could you put one of the lieutenants into the Death Company and one of them not? Like, I actually like the lieutenant that came out with Indomitus box set. I think he's really well costed, actually. Like, he's like 90 points, and he's got that storm shield, and he's got like a pretty nice gun. It's like that Volkite pistol that can do like 4 damage at strength 5, and he's got like a mastercrafted power sword, which is basically just a 2 damage power sword. And because he's Blood Angels, you know, he's hitting on like 2s and then probably wounding on like 2s or 3s with that power sword, and it'll just shred through like infantry and weaker armor units. So I really like the lieutenant that came with the Indomitus box. I think he's really strong. But yeah, I mean, I think he's just having to compete against a lot of other strong HQ choices at the moment. That's the only thing. I had to scroll past a few people lines in chat because sometimes on the live streams, quite a lot of people in here tonight. So if you ask a question and I don't answer it, just ask it again. It's just at some point, like randomly, I'll try and catch up with the chat, so I'm not still speaking about a point that's like 2 or 3 minutes away or 2 or 3 minutes old. So if I miss your question, then please just post it again. I'm not trying to ignore anyone. I mean, I used to listen to like bands like Metallica, Trivium, Machine Head, let me think, Volbeat, Five Finger Death Punch. I'm trying to think what else. Metal, Pantera. Got quite a few Pantera albums. Boy, I haven't listened to Pantera in forever though now. I mean, I don't listen to as much music as I used to, I guess. Maybe it's a time thing, but like, yeah, something that's weird is like, I used to really like music when you got albums, but now everything's just streamed. Like, I don't know, I'm more of the generation that likes to buy an album and listen to it from start to finish, rather than just like streaming or whatever. Just finished the game. Hey Acril. Hey James, how you doing? Megadeth? Oh, I mean, I like a little bit of Megadeth. What's Hangar of Destruction? Symphony of Destruction. Hangar 17, Hangar 18 or something. Oh, there's one Megadeth song that I love. Oh, I can't think what it is now. Maybe it's Symphony of Destruction, actually. Don't you think that Blood Angels have the best warlord trait, Gift of Foresight, but it's the only usable one? I actually think Speed of the Primarch maybe got a little bit better with the new Fight First changes, Doctor, but yeah, there's no denying that Speed of the Primarch... Sorry, There's no denying that Gift of Foresight is a shit hot warlord trait. I think it's one of the strongest in the game right now. If Dante had that, I might get on board with actually picking Dante, right? Like, if he had, like, I think that's so much better than so much more viable than Heroic Bearing. How about taking Veil of Time instead of Might of Heroes on your Librarian? Maybe, Highland. I am half tempted. You just joined the stream, Highland. Look what I picked up. I took off his head though, so I might start running me some spy network. That's why he's got a helmet with like a little aerial on it, right? So you can contact his spy network. I have heard some of Nightwish's music before, actually. I'm not a fan, but I think I've heard one or two of their albums. I used to work with a guy that was really into Nightwish. Is Sanguinary Guard Heavy still viable, or Vanguard Heavy the way to go? Do you know what? Some people still run Heavy Sanguinary Guard, and I think they get reasonable success out of it. I don't run it. I have seen a couple of people still like post really high standing results at tournaments with Heavy Sanguinary Guard. It's probably the reason that they put Sanguinary Guard up in points. Oh, excuse me, just recently. But yeah, it's not for me. I think it's very one-dimensional. Your opponent knows exactly what you're going to do, right? Oh well, you're just going to charge me all over the board with Sanguinary Guard. I don't like it, and I think that some armies counter it pretty well these days. So I run one squad of Sanguinary Guard and one squad of Vanguard Vets, but neither of the squads are that big. But I mean, don't tell me you can't run all Sanguinary Guard. If you want to run all Sanguinary Guard, go for it. It's your call. The only football I watch is American football, where you pick the ball up and run with it. I watch some American footballs. I mean, I'm literally wearing a Green Bay Packers top right now. But I don't really have like a set American football team. I just like the game, and occasionally I've in the past I've bought the odd copy of Madden or something, and I've played a bit of American football. I think it's an alright game. I prefer soccer, but I don't dislike American football. Heroic Bearing is going to become interesting on Chaplain soon with mortal spam incoming. I mean, you mean Soul Warden, right? Heroic Bearing doesn't give you protection against mortal wounds, right? It's Soul Warding. Or am I wrong here? Sing Along Metal, you're referring to Whiskey in the Jar, no doubt. Yeah, do you know what? That is Sing Along Metal. I love that. That is a good song. Even though it's not, even though that's not actually a Metallica song, that is a good song. Have you gathered new lists to review, Commander? I mean, I get new lists submitted to the YouTube channel for reviews like almost daily, man. So yeah, I mean, I have a queue of lists to review. We do the reviews every week. I'm not sure what your question in that is. Pantera did the theme song for my favorite hockey team. Very epic. Let's go Dallas Stars. I have never heard that Pantera song. That must be a while ago, because Pantera broke up like 20 years ago at this point, right? Or maybe not. Maybe not 20. Do you know what? I'm thinking it is 20. I mean, I can't actually remember the last album I had. I had Cowboys from Hell, and I had Vulgar Display of Power. I actually think Vulgar Display of Power was the better of the two albums. Maybe Cowboys from Hell was the more commercial album, but Vulgar Display of Power was brutal. That's some like proper heavy metal. Space Marine helmet for going undercover. Well, Space Marine helmet because like Inquisitors aren't really supposed to be super happy with like the Blood Angels and their heretical drinking blood ways. So in my army, they've taken Cotias and they've made him drink the blood, and now he has to wear the helmet for the shame of it or something, you know, like. And also, I hate painting faces, man. So I really just wanted to get a red Blood Angels helmet on him. That was more the motivation than. I mean, I've painted some faces recently, but like I'm just not good at it. So like, I'd rather just paint another Space Marine helmet. Night Wish has been my COVID year discovery band. Fair enough. Do you know what? My wife listens to a lot of Billy Talent, and I think Billy Talent have become my COVID discovery band. And I didn't even I don't really listen to punk. I guess they're like punk rock. I don't really listen to punk rock. I did listen to punk rock like when I was 15 or something, I guess. But you know what? Billy Talent are actually a solid band. I mean, if you've never checked them out, they have a lot of good songs. And they're, you know, when she first put it on, I was like, who are these people? You know, like very dismissive, I guess. Chaplains can take a 5 triple plus against mortal litany that you can take a 9-inch bubble with heroic bearing. Oh right, I'm with you. I know that you could just take Soul Warden for like a 6-inch heroic bubble. I think you can take the Vox Spiritum with Soul Warden, right? To guarantee the. So maybe that's the more reliable way to do it. But yeah, I guess we'll see when armies start bringing a shitload of mortal wounds, which might not be too far away, right? Because Thousand Suns and Grey Knights are very close. Cotius is working with the Angel Sanguine. Yeah, I mean, would you ever consider making content on another faction? Not right now. A few people have asked me, like, if I get a second army, what would I do? And I think my focus is to try and win some tournaments this edition with Blood Angels. So until if we don't win any tournaments this edition, then I'll have to win them next edition. But that's my focus right now. And then, or maybe not even win the tournaments, just place really well at them. And then after that, maybe we'll see what happens. I would actually like to paint another army at some point. Because obviously, like, once you're like me and you've got like 10,000 plus points of one army, you do see other armies and you think, oh, that'd be fun to paint. But it's not really top of my radar right now. But maybe at some point I will. I mean, Games Workshop they just release so many new models all the time, and they all look cool. So it's hard to not look at the other stuff with a little bit envy sometimes and be like, man, I'd like to paint that. If you want to hear the power of a heavy bolt rifle, you should listen to Kill Chain from Bolt Thrower. I don't listen to all that. You haven't listened to Billy Talent since you were at school? Fair enough. I didn't even know they were a band until recently. I think I'd heard like one song from them on the radio called like Fallen Leaves, but I mean they actually have some really decent albums. I was impressed. You're right, Highland. He has been honoured by the Blood Angels. I'm going to paint him the same way I paint the Vanguard veterans. So I'm going to give him like a blood red cloak, I think, and then like a bright red helm and like a black maybe Thunderhammer and then the gold armor. Maybe we'll even try and do like the bird is a bit bloody, right? Like it's supposed to be like an eagle or a sight. It could be a blood eagle, right? But yeah, no, I don't really listen to heavy metal like I used to. I don't know if I just don't. I don't know if I'm probably just too old now. I mean, more power to bands like Metallica still rocking out when they're like James Hetfield must be like 55, 50. I reckon if I had to guess, I'd say James Hetfield is 58 right now. Because like their first album came out in like 83 and I feel like they were 17, so that's like 40 years ago. Yeah. How old is James Hetfield? Someone tell me. Someone in the chat must know that. But yeah, more power to him still rocking it out. friggin' heavy metal at 58. It's crazy. Why don't the Blood have like chapter options like most other armies? I mean, you can make successor chapters. What do you mean by chapter options? Oh, you mean like how, like detachment options and stuff? I mean, I guess just Space Marines in general don't really get detachment options. 57. Oh, I was close, man. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'm 37. I don't think I'd be rocking heavy metal in 20 years. We'll see. Hey Alvin, thanks for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're well. I'm making some decent progress through these guys, actually. I'd like to get these guys finished though. I think I've been painting these guys on stream now for like, I was trying to think, it must have done like at least 10 streams now we've been working on these guys. I mean, I guess it's because I do 8 at once. And honestly, I was thinking like maybe I might do 4 more Sangori Guard in the future as well. I know I don't run them in big squads right now, but I feel like I'm still not have all the weapon options that I want for them. We're just gonna ignore Dave Mustaine. I assume Dave Mustaine must be like the exact same age. But yeah, like I said, I'm not. So I used to buy, like, it used to be a passion of mine to like buy new albums, come home, listen to the album from the start to the end. But like that just doesn't happen anymore with streaming platforms and stuff, right? Like, I think that you've lost something with music. Like, I genuinely used to really enjoy buying a CD and listening to from it start to end. And yeah, you just don't get that with the streaming platforms, I guess. Maybe just music behavior for me has changed, but yeah, I mean, I guess you could run a detachment of Blood Angels in like a successor, or you could run a detachment of Blood Angels in like Flesh Tearers and stuff, but I mean, you can run like a soup list if you've never heard of that, where you just take like a bunch of different Imperium units and like, they call it a soup list, I guess, because it's just a big bowl of soup, big bowl of different units all together. So, I mean, you don't have to be 100% Blood Angels if you don't want to be, right? I mean, you lose some of our chapter bonuses for doing that, but it's not the end of the world. You can make lists work. Hello man, new to the channel, love your channel, I'm new to Blood Angels. Well, welcome Alvin. If you ever have any questions, please just fire them in chat. You know, we're here live multiple times a week doing Blood Angels content, and new videos go up pretty much every Friday as well. So nice to have you. Thanks. I'm glad you found us. Because I guess if you watch this channel, you will 100% win more games. I'm still very happy about that guy. That guy that said that he'd never played any armies. He'd never played 40k, and then he went to a tournament after watching the channel and won the whole tournament. I'm still very happy about that. He said he'd only ever played against one type. His friend who had like, I can't remember, did he say his friend was like a Death Guard list? He went to a tournament and played against a bunch of armies he'd never played before, and he won the tournament. And he like messaged me and was like, thanks so much for your channel, I friggin' won the tournament. Like, you're welcome, man. Good for you. I have 6 suppressors. I actually had the 3 that were in the Vanguard box, like the Start Collecting Vanguard box. And I actually like them so much I bought another 3. I used them more in I used them more in 8th edition than I've used them in 9th. But, you know, as more and more armies get their codexes, I think suppressors are one of those units where I wouldn't rule them out. I actually don't think they're that bad. 100 points for 9, strength 7, -2, 2 damage autocannon shots. You know, if you compare that to a whirlwind, it's more damaging than the whirlwind, right? And it does shut off infantry-based overwatch, so it's going to be good against Tau if Tau get like some good updates in their codex. So I think suppressors are one to watch, right? Like, I don't think they're bad. Not super strong either, but I think they might be one that actually gets a little bit more love. Spotify has albums. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I know Spotify has albums and stuff, but yeah, I think there was just something quite, like, I guess a good example, and maybe one of the reasons that I like Warhammer is like the tactile bit of the tactile aspect of it. And I guess what that is like, I can see and touch something, right? And like, you know, quite a few people have asked me like, hey, why don't you play Tabletop Simulator? That's it. And I was like, no, I just don't feel like I have any interest in Tabletop Simulator. Like, I have a ton of interest in the hobby, in painting and playing, and I really enjoy all that, but like, Tabletop Simulator just doesn't, like, I don't want to have to learn how to play in Tabletop Simulator, and also I'm not going to be able to be as focused on it, I think, and stuff like that. So like, I think that's the same thing. Like with Spotify, maybe is like, I just feel like I'm never going to be as focused as like the excitement I used to get when you'd buy an album and you'd go home and you'd listen to it. And it's hard to put into words what that is, but there's definitely something tactile to do with it, I guess. Hey Dolph, good evening, how you doing? Hey Dorian, thanks for subscribing. Suppressors can also shoot at multiple units and turn off Overwatch for multiple units. That is very true. If you type !Discord, Alvin, you'll get the chatbot should answer you with the Discord link. Do you remember Origin painting in his Blood Angels chapter champion? I kit bashed that model today. What do you think the warlord traits and relic on the champion? I did a video on the chapter champion. You know, Camille, you were asking the other night about giveaways. I think I'm going to give that model away, actually, because I'm very particular about my models matching, and obviously because Origin painted that model for me, it doesn't match. So I think I'm going to give that model away in a giveaway, and I think we'll do it for members only next. So we'll do the next giveaway members only, and I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, no, I think I'm just going to give them away. Do you know what? That was what I was going to say. I'll give Origin another shout out to his channel, actually, because that was really dope of him to paint that. Like, I never asked him for it. He just did it as a thank you, because I included him in a couple of my videos. So yeah, I think we'll do that. And I think when we did the Math Hammer, that guy only has 4 wounds, Camille, and so like, he has got the shield, right? So you would sort of think it would make sense to upgrade that shield into the Shield Eternal and get the Feel No Pain from the Shield Eternal, right? Because he's just got a combat shield, but it can be upgraded to the Feel No Pain Shield Eternal. But when we actually worked it out, if you want him to be survivable, you're better off giving him Armor Indomitus, because that +1 wound will make a big difference, because it's basically 25% more wounds, right? Because he's just normally 4 wounds. The sword you can give him, though, is pretty dope. Like, the Blade of Triumph is like a strength +3, 3 damage, -3 sword. So, I mean, I guess you've got the choice there. Like, could you give him Iron Resolve to make him survivable and then give him the sword? But if you pay the extra points to make him the actual company champion, I think, because I can't remember, I think he's the chapter champion, or he's the company champion, you upgrade him to the chapter champion. If you pay the extra 15 points for that, his warlord trait basically lets everybody around him reroll charges, and I mean that's kind of useful as well, you know, if you don't have the relic for Icon of the Angels. So there's a few ways you can go with on him, but I definitely did a video on him. I think probably if you just search Blood Angels Commander Chapter Champion, you'll find it. If you can't find it, let me know and I'll link it to you. See the table army going 7-1 at the tournament, besting 4 Dakar armies pre-nerf. I did hear about a Tau army doing very well, but I haven't actually seen the list myself. TTS works to get the itch, but playing in real life is comparable. Yeah, I think that's kind of how I feel about it as well. Hey Anthony, how you doing? Robert, it was Daniel. I forget Daniel's last name, but it was someone called Daniel who is a member of the Discord that won the bike, because I've messaged him. His Discord name isn't Daniel though. His Discord name I believe was Lapui or something, LAUP or something. But yeah, it was someone, a member of the Discord, that won the bike on Sunday stream. But yeah, the chapter champion is a cool. Do you know what? I'll message Evan at Origin and find out when he's planning to do his next video and tell him that we're going to do a members giveaway for that chapter champion, because he's a cool ass model. But yeah, he doesn't fit with my stuff, and I'm very particular. I'm thinking of buying 10 Death Company. I mean, Firstborn Death Company are good, yes. Death Company Intercessors are questionable, I guess. So if you're gonna buy if you're gonna buy Death Company, make sure it's Firstborn. So they're the ones that come with the jump packs and the weapon options, basically. Depends on what you're fighting. Mathhammer needs context. Feel No Pain is better than extra wounds for multi-damage character fights. Yeah, I mean, my Mathhammer just does a standard variation of units, right? So I guess in the standard variation of things, the extra wounds seem to sort of nudge ahead, I guess. Hey Ben, thanks for subscribing. We get a lot of subscribers tonight. Appreciate that. How you doing? Thinking to get a box of Stengard veterans just because I love the look of them. Just wondering, is there any viable way in the tabletop? I mean, you could run the Stengard veterans as just company veterans, right? It depends on. I mean, the Sternguards do look very cool. I believe I have some of them. But I just run them as company vets, and company vets are pretty cool because they get the bodyguard rule. You can use them to protect characters, Dolph. And the other cool thing about company vets is you can actually run them just as 2-man squad for 40 points, right? So if you just need a really cheap unit that you want to sit on an objective somewhere and or perform actions, for secondaries, then that's where company veterans can kind of come into a bit of a place of their own, just because they give you some flexibility that maybe other squads don't have like that. And also, if you're running any sort of captain or a custom chapter master in your list, then in terms of, they don't take up an elite slot either. So basically you get you can take a free squad of company veterans. So I like company veterans quite a lot, actually. I did have a look at considering dropping some Blade Guard veterans for company veterans, but yeah, I think that the company veterans give you some really good options. Oh, and right above that says Camille was saying that he runs company veterans with his chapter champion. Best loadout for a Contemptor Dreadnought. If it's not the Relic Contemptor, then I think it's probably the Multi-Melta and the Fist, right? If you're running the Relic Contemptor, I think it's the Drill. Assuming you want it to go melee, you probably want the Drill and either a Multi-Melta or the Twin Volkites. The double las cannon actually isn't performing as well as you would think for the points cost these days. The reason that I kind of like the Multi-Melta idea is because, like, if you've got them armed with a claw or a drill, you kind of need to be in close to make that work, right? So if you know you have to be in close to make that work, then you have that half-range Multi-Melta, bonus damage. So I have a Contemptor Dreadnought with a ton of different weapon options. Like, I have 2 sets of the twin las cannons because I used to run them with double twin las cannons. I have them with a plasma gun. I want to say I've got the Cyclone missile launcher as well, but yeah, I mean, I just run them with a claw and the Multi-Melta. I think that's keeps it nice and cheap, and it's still pretty effective. I don't like spending 1 CP on Contemptor Dreadnoughts. I know you can do it, but yeah, that's my opinion. I have done a few videos on Contemptors and stuff, Patrick. I mean, if you search the channel for I was going to say, if you search like Blood Angels Commander Contemptor, you'll probably find like 3 or 4 videos I've made on Contemptor Dreadnoughts. Hellblasters with Assault Plasmas instead of one of your Eradicators. I mean, Hellblasters with Assault Plasmas sounds nice, Highland, but they're 165 points, right? I'm actually changing my list for this week. We're gonna drop. I built a chapter champion to try and wait him out. Try him out, says Anthony. I'm gonna drop both squads of Eradicators, and I'm gonna bring the attack bikes back in. Because I kind of miss the mobility of the attack bikes, and I actually think that is kind of a little bit of a weakness for the heavy intercessors. The heavy Eradicators. So I'm going to bring back my attack bikes, and then 2 squads of Eradicators is 300 points. Squad of 3 attack bikes with Multi-Meltas is 180, and then a squad of 3 Inceptors with Assault Bolters is 120. So that's what I'm going to try this week. And I know not many people run the Assault Bolters, but I believe it was Reziel who's been telling me for a while to try the Assault Bolters with Inceptors. And the Assault Bolter Inceptors went down 5 points this week, or just last week in the chapter approved, right? So, you know, he was saying to run them before they were 5 points cheaper per model, I guess. So I'm going to give them a try. I'm kind of hopeful that they'll do some work. You know, if they arrive in turn 2 and you pay the 1 CP, then you're going to get 18 shots, strength 5, minus 2, hitting on 2s. So if you're going to arrive near your captain, you can basically guarantee 18 strength 5 minus 2 hits. I feel like it's a decent amount of weight of fire. I guess we'll see. We'll see. But I'm kind of hoping that this will work. There's a difference between 5 triple plus and 1 extra wound. Extra wound is extra wound, but 5 triple plus is a chance to get extra wound. Yeah, I mean, the chapter champion video I did, like, probability wise, I think it basically said with Iron Resolve you are going to be a little bit more survivable. Have I lost count? Hold on, have I done all these wings? I've just been chatting away to you guys and not realised how many models we've done. Hold on. What loadout do people run in company vets? I guess if it was me, I would consider a Storm Shield for the 4 points, because I think the Storm Shield makes them so much more survivable, right? Any legs in dropping Sternguard or other units from a drop pod in turn 1. Drop pods were all over the place early 9th, but they have disappeared. I did a video on that as well, Matt, and it turns out that Death Company, like, if you're going to drop Sternguard in a drop pod, I assume that you're trying to use like heavy flamers or something, and it turns out that actually Death Company on a charge will just do more damage than any of that shenanigans. So some other factions like Iron Hands may still get some good value out of that, but for us, I don't think there's a ton of value in it. I'm a little bit unhappy with my dry brush on this one wing. Like, it went on way too thick. I guess I wasn't paying 100% attention. Hey Ben, how you doing? Instead of Contemptors, try Inquisitor Karamov instead. I mean, Karamov does get that master-crafted multi-melta. How do you expect the 500 points of shooting Blood Angels list is likely to do against the classic traditional all-infantry Blood Angels force in a mirror match? I would like to fight that mirror match, to be totally honest with you, Matt. And I feel like I win that match. I don't know because I haven't done it, but I feel like, I wonder if I have enough models where we could actually field that match, because I have like yeah, I wonder if I actually have enough where we could do that match. I mean, the mirror list wouldn't be 100% painted, but it's a good question. Like, maybe I could do that match. But like, I feel like I win it, right? Because I know exactly what the other player needs to do. And if you've seen my battle reports, you know that I play defensively for 2 turns, give or take, in every battle. How many times, you know, so we've won 14 games in a row now on the channel, right? How many of those 14 games have we been behind in turn 2 or 3? And I want to say, like, probably at least 10, right? And I want to say in some of the games, people have joined the chat and been like, oh shit, Blood Angels Commander is going to lose tonight. And then it's like, no, we still win, because we play in a very sort of distinct way where we know that we aren't going to commit too many. We're going to try and keep all of our forces alive for the point of the game where, like, we get those big power spikes. Sorry, the dry brush went on way too heavy on this wing, so I just want to add a little bit of detail back to it. Or a little bit of contrast, maybe is better, is the right word. So I feel like if someone came, like, if I came up in a tournament against like an all melee Blood Angels list, I know exactly what they need to do they need to get me in close combat to win the game, right? So I would actually probably fall back from them if I had to. And like, here's the question: do they have a whirlwind? Because if they don't have a whirlwind, then I'll suppression fire one squad of Sanctuary Guards, so whoever they charge, I'll kill a bunch of them before they even get to fight me. So I do think it's going to be like I know I advocate it, but I think I advocate it for a good reason. And you know what? The reason I'm painting all the time at the moment, like an insane idiot, is because I have a tournament coming up. So I guess you guys will be able to judge me once I've been to this tournament. And maybe at the tournament, you know, there'll be some other Blood Angels players playing more, whatever you want to call it, more dead set 100% melee focused lists, because some people like to play Blood Angels as 100% melee focused, you know. How do I expand my Blood Angels list to 2,000 points? I have been working on a video for next week, Alvin, about making like a really solid 1,000 point Blood Angels list to get people started. That video is probably going to go out like middle of next week, I guess. So if you can hang around for that, that'll help you know what to buy and where to go next. Hey Benjamin, good evening. I actually think the Hellblasters are really good, Highland. I do like them. And I did ask somebody would you put the Hellblasters inside an Impulsor? Because remember, the Impulsor is an assault vehicle, so you can move, disembark, and shoot. And because if you take the assault Hellblasters, then there's no disadvantage. Like, you're not getting -1 to hit or anything like that, right? So I like the Hellblasters. The only thing I don't like about them is 165 points, but like, I think it's a good point, I suppose, with like attack bikes going up in points and scepters going up in points. Are assault Hellblasters a good option now? How many would you recommend for Vanguard Vets in the list? I think that's the one I'm thinking about, the Flying Jet Point Boys. I mean, if you're running Vanguard Veterans, you need a minimum of 5, and some people like to run 10, all with Storm Shields and Lightning Claws, and then Combat Squad them, Catboy. I mean, I run 5 in my current list, but I have run lists before where I had like 7 or 8 Vanguard Veterans in the list. I agree, the Shooty Blood Angels list would beat the all-out Assault Blood Angels list. Easier to counter-charge when you have more shooting, so it forces them to go at you in full speed. Yeah, and you know what? I've played Andrew a lot, right? Like, you guys know I play Andrew a lot. I'm probably actually, at the end of the stream on Monday night, I was actually helping Andrew build a stronger Sisters of Battle list, because obviously his new codex has just come out, so we were discussing a lot of things, trying to help him build like a really strong Sisters of Battle list. He's actually playing that list over on the other channel right now, the Plastic Crackheads channel, against Colin, against the Death Guard. So I actually don't know how that game's going. I'll check in with it a bit later. But probably going to end up playing Andrew's Sisters of Battle again on Monday night, and I had something to say about that. Yeah, I used to play Andrew's Iron Hands a lot, right? And Andrew knew when I played Blood Angels and he was Iron Hands, he kind of knew what to expect, right? He knew that like I was fully melee focused, so I had to get into melee, and he could just stand there, hold his ground as Iron Hands, and just shoot and shoot and shoot, and try and get into like good positions to get big wide firing arcs. And before I was doing my 500 points of shooting, I want to say against Andrew's Iron Hands, like, Andrew beat me a lot of the time. Like, I want to say he beat me 3 out of every 4 games. The only games that I actually did well against his Iron Hands was like when there was a ton of terrain and I managed to like get across the board without losing too much stuff. And I used to run, again, you know, I used to be running like Wrath of Baal to get the additional movement, and I used to be running Icon of the Angel to get the rerolls and the charges. So we were doing everything we could to make sure like we were getting in as quickly as possible and not failing any charges and stuff. And like, I did not have a good win rate against the Iron Hands. I mean, I feel like eventually I had them sort of figured out, but even then, like, if the map was really light on terrain and it was just generally a really tough game for me, because I have to close the distance from him, and his army was really, really effective at shooting. So, based on that, that's why I think that Blood Angels v the mirror matchup, I think the shooting list wins if it's played right. I mean, there's a big if there. Like, the list has to be played right. But I mean, if you watch my channel and you listen to some of the advice I give about like making sure that you decide when the charges happen and stuff like that, then I don't think you should have a problem. We want to stream for a tournament? Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do that. I mean, maybe we could video some games of the tournament. Missed the last few turns of the game on Monday. Well, when you left the game on Monday, Dolph, it was probably about 50 victory points each. The game actually finished with me on like 90, and maybe it wasn't 90, let's say 80. Let's say 80, but I think it was more like 85, and Andrew's still on 50. So we pulled away massively in turn 3, 4, and 5. And again, I feel like every week I say to Andrew, you are playing against Blood Angels. You need to keep CP for interrupting combat, or basically you need to keep CP for counter-offensive. And he always blows all his CP, so then in like turn 3, there's always a turn where like I just make like, I think I made 5 charges in turn 3, and he had no CP, so like I get a fight with all my charging models first. And he was excited because he was like, oh, my one character, Stern or something, a new Sisters of Battle character, can fight first. And I was like, oh, can she? Alright, I'll attack her first with all my Centurions. And we just wiped her off the board with all the Centurions. I guess it it didn't quite go as he had hoped, I guess. Yeah, thanks, Matty. Again, good luck to you and your tournaments. I don't have a Whirlwind, but I have a Judicar that can work. Yeah, Judicar can obviously be used, and Tabletop Tactics was using the Judicar, so like, you don't have to have the Whirlwind. I just think that the Whirlwind's kind of a guaranteed fight last for one enemy unit, right? Because it's a 72-inch range. If you have the castle, and the chances of you missing with 2d... You only need to make a single hit with 2d6 shots. Like, the chances of that failing are pretty slim to none. And, yeah, saying that, I did manage to get my Whirlwind killed in turn 1 this week. But that was just my own stupid fault. I underestimated that new Sisters character, Morgan Val. But I guess we won't be doing that again. 75 to 62. Oh, that was closer than I thought it was, Mark. Thanks for keeping us right. I actually thought that we pulled away a little bit more than that at the end, but okay. I've been helping Andrew all week trying to make a stronger Sisters list, so I guess we'll see what happens on Monday night. I mean, I kind of have to help him make a stronger list because he's in the tournament that I'm going to. It's a triples tournament, and Andrew's on my team, so like I need him to have a stronger list. But yeah, I want the games against the stronger opponents anyway as well, so I guess it kind of all works out, right? I was hoping not to have to buy a Whirlwind. I mean, I think when I was on stream with Tony last week, he said that Whirlwinds have been out of stock for ages. And he said that he thinks that I'm the reason. He's like, you're the bloody reason that they're out of stock. I was like, I'm sorry, they're good. I swear to you, they're good. Once I've done this, I'm going to have to tidy up all this gold, because when you're dry brushing like this, you inevitably catch some edges of the model that you don't want to catch. Hey Dolph, coming in with a $5 super chat. Just something to say thanks for all the helps and tips. Oh, thank you, man. Much appreciated, Dolph. You've been here for a while. I don't know. I appreciate the support as much as... You know, thank you. So one of my followers sent me these brushes. He sent me like a whole heap of them. Like he sent me the whole shebang. Like there's like 50 quid of brushes here. So I was saying like big shout out to 2 Hit 2 Wound for sending me these. And I've been using this base one for a while now. You can tell that I've been using for a while because it's an absolute mess. But it's been okay. And yeah, I just started trying this new... This is the small dry brush. And just trying to use it to like catch these shoulder pads. It seems okay. They're kind of cheap. I feel like Death Company Intercessor should be a troop choice. You know, Death Company kind of used to be a troop choice a few editions ago. I think Death Company Intercessors are a really weird one, right? Because Assault Intercessors get that fight twice stratagem, but Death Company Intercessors don't. And obviously Assault Intercessors are troops, they grant OBSEC, can perform actions. I think they missed the mark a little bit with those Death Company Intercessors. They needed a little bit more thought before they got put in the game, I think. there are fight list options in the Sisters Codex. You should definitely have a look at them. Yeah, he did have a Canoness with a relic that made anyone within 3 inches fight last. I actually don't. I think it was called Word of the Emperor. I could be wrong here, but you definitely had a. Definitely had something that let. That. I'm failing to use my words right. He had a relic that let enemies within 3 inches of the Canoness fight last. Good night, Tony. Thanks for hanging out. Caps Boy says, are Centurions good for Blood Angels? So I think Centurions with guns are overcosted. Like the heavy Centurions, the Devastators, like they're like 100 points a model. I don't know anyone. I don't know how any army can afford that. I think they're crazily overcosted. But Assault Centurions, I think they're okay. I've been running 3 of them now for a while. They don't do the most amount of damage in my games, but they do suck up a ton of enemy fire. So I guess the question is sucking up a ton of enemy fire worth 165 points? Because that's what you pay for them. If you take them with the Flamers. I like them with the Flamers as well, because the Flamers kind of help prevent enemies like charging them up and wrapping them up in combat with like chaff units. So Assault Centurions, I mean, previously we could never run them. It's only in 9th edition we've been allowed to run Centurions. I like them, but I mean, I can't give you a call on are they competitive or are they good, because I haven't been to a tournament with them. I might take them to a tournament. I feel like I should probably take my current list to the tournament, because I don't think anyone is going to have a list like mine and or expect a list like mine, and maybe that unexpectedness will help me at a tournament. You know, like most people will know or be able to expect like what typically comes from Blood Angels, and like my lists will just be very different to what they expect, because like I play generally a little bit more defensively and a little bit differently. I actually don't know where I feel like I just put some paint on the palette, but I can't even see it. I don't see why they're elites. I mean, if I'm going to choose an elite death company, I'm going to go Firstborn. Yeah, I mean, I think hopefully, like, I don't know how many people actually bought those Death Company Intercessors, but hopefully not too many people bought them. Like, in Games Workshop realised that, like, maybe they weren't, maybe realised they didn't quite have them fleshed out as well as they should. But it's hard to say if that actually happens or not. These little shoulder pads, even with the dry brushing technique, are pretty difficult to get right, I find. So what is everybody else working on tonight then? I usually ask that at the start of the stream. I kind of got sidetracked. Just like the rest of the Codex supplement. Bitter much, Highland Phoenix. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The Codex supplement was very lackluster. You know, like there aren't that many great stratagems in there. There aren't that many. Ah, fuck! I just put that into the wash. That was stupid. Yeah. There's. The Codex supplement was a weird one, huh? I mean, technically it was our first Codex supplement, because previously we've always just had Codexes. So hopefully we just chalk it down to like, hey, they were learning, it was the first Codex supplement. They'll do better next time. I guess that's what we can hope, right? Purple Razorback, Blood Elf Paladin? Alright, you play Warcraft, huh? Eradicators and Cursors, Assault Intercessors, Whirlwinds, Leviathan Redemptors, Blood Angels Librarian Terminator, Tactical Marines Cannon, Indominus Eradicator Sergeant, building a Repulsor. Wow, a lot of different stuff happening tonight then, around. I'm going to go back to my actual sable dry brush. I don't know if the bristles on this are just a little bit too soft for this. I felt like it, you know, it's like a slightly smaller head, so I thought like this would help me, but it's not actually helping. Well, I have building an ATV. I'm still not sold on ATVs. You have to play it in some games, Mark, and let me know how it goes for you. I have Inceptors with bolters, and I also have Inceptors with the plasmas. And I'm gonna try and slap some color on my bolter ones this weekend, and use them on stream on like Monday this week, because I think I can't afford to fit the plasma ones in my list anyway because they're too expensive, but I actually think the bolter Inceptors at 40 points per model are kinda okay. Yeah, the problem with this dry brush is I'm going to be touching all the other edges around here, so I'm going to have to I'm going to need to tidy up all the gold and everything around here afterwards, which is a bit of a nightmare, but this is why we're doing the dry brushing now, I guess. This is why I'm so slow at painting. Maybe I should have done this in a different order, but I guess it is what it is. Working on my third Smash Captain, the Archangel. Makeup brushes seem to work for dry brushing. I get set for around £10 usually, and it's like a 5-brush set. You know what? I have a giant makeup brush that I got like in a pound store, or I guess like the equivalent like of a dollar store, which is really good for dry brushing. But I mean, I'm trying to be accurate and just dry brush like these little shoulder pad bits, which is annoying because like I know this is a small dry brush, but like I would honestly buy a very small one if that was an option. Maybe another company makes a very small one, I just need to research it. That's usually what happens, and you guys will tell me like, hey, you should just use this. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. I'm going to start Inceptors next. I'm going to magnetize the following. I have 2 boxes, so 6 models. Do you know what? Magnets on your Inceptors probably actually is the 100% the correct call, right? Are ATVs better than attack bikes? I mean, they can't be resurrected by the priest. But then I guess if you're not going to run a priest, then I guess the answer is probably yes. So you've got a choice there. You run the priest and resurrect them, or you run attack bikes. And if you don't plan on running a priest, then I guess you take ATVs. I mean, I don't know how else you would compare them, right? Running scenarios in my units against toughness 5 orcs, the extra toughness really hurt my crusader. Here's the question though, how much extra points do you think the orcs are going to get charged for going up the toughness? Because I had a crazy strong game, or I had a close game against Brett last week, and he was obviously using the old orc rules. So I assume they're going to go up in points for the additional toughness. So, I mean, based on that, maybe you don't need to worry that your crusader got hit, because like if they go up a couple of points per model, then I guess you'll have to see, make a call. Hopefully whoever wrote the sisters book didn't write the orcs one, otherwise the orcs will be super overpowered as well though. Always good to see you, Blood Angels Commander. You showed the sisters who's boss. Yeah, we did show those sisters who's boss. We're gonna have to show them who's boss again this week though, so that's gonna be fun. But maybe we can do it. I'll need to get one of those Camille, because this brush, I mean, this one's a bit wrecked anyway. It feels like I actually thought this one was in kind of good nick, but I guess not. Grabbing some of these littler details here is proving very, very challenging. Are they going to replace them? I don't know. I mean, no one knows, I suppose, if they're going to replace the older models with Primaris models fully. I mean, we've had the Primaris Marines for like 3 years now, and like I don't really think they've discontinued any of the Marine lines. I mean, maybe they've like discontinued the Blood Angels tactical squad for some reason, which is strange because people really love that tactical squad. But for the most part, no other Marine lines have been discontinued as far as I'm aware. Maybe someone in chat knows one that has been, but I don't think so. Or Landspeeder Tornadoes with multi-melt heavy flamers. I don't know, Highland, but what I was thinking of doing was putting that at, I was thinking of doing a math hammer on that, because I've had a few people ask me that, like, what's better? ATVs, which are like 8 wounds, toughness 5, or the Landspeeders, which are 6 wounds, toughness 6, right? So, I guess some weapons it'll be situational, but it would be nice to have some maths done on it. And you know, I actually own 2 Landspeeders that don't get played. So if we do the maths and it turns out the Landspeeders are actually really competitive, it might motivate me to actually finish and paint those Landspeeders. So that's usually what motivates me, right? Knowing that a unit's strong. And then I'm like, oh well, I guess I should finish painting that unit next, huh? Alright, so I think that is all the dry brushing done. So now we need to do a bit of tidy up. Actually, do you know what? A couple of these guys have these little Aquillas on their knees. I'm going to put some white paint on them first, actually. Then we'll do some tidy up. Should you run a priest? I mean, the priest is expensive, but he's undeniably good, I guess. Some people, I think, have dropped him because he's so expensive, but like I'm still running him. Yeah, try not to lose my... I totally underestimated Morgan Val, 100%. Like, I did not expect her to kill a whirlwind in one round of shooting. I mean, maybe he got a little bit lucky with his rolls, but that's no excuse. Like, the whirlwind should have been deployed. Like, I always deploy the whirlwind into an obscuring position, so he should have been obscured. I mean, I would have probably been quite a bit further ahead in that game if the whirlwind hadn't died for no reason in turn 1. So, You got Blood Angels Assault Squad in the mail, mainly for the shields for the Vanguard veterans. Oh man, I would kill for some more of those Blood Angels. Terminator shoulder pads. The shoulder pads you get in that box are so nice, Highland. If you've not used all the shoulder pads in that box, consider using some of them on Blade Guard veterans, because I think they actually look kind of dope on Blade Guard veterans. I'll show you, one sec. Let me see if I've got one right here. Yeah, look. There's a Terminator shoulder pad on a Blade Guard veteran. And this was an easy to build Blade Guard veteran, right? So I just hacked off the shoulder pad that was on that arm and got the arm in there. That's actually a custom sword as well on that one. I think I've got one here actually with a Sanguinary Guard sword on it as well. And then there's a Terminator shoulder pad on there too. I think they look pretty cool. I mean that. But yeah, I mean, Forge World used to actually sell Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads, and then they stopped, and that was a sad day, because the Forge World Terminator shoulder pads were, I mean, they were like, sure they were like $10, but they were pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just going to touch up a few bits here and there with the white, I guess. I'll see if their wings need any touching up while I'm there, and then I'm probably going to do a little bit more touch up, and then we're gonna start washing all the metal on these guys. Like, these guys are starting to get towards the end of the line, I guess, for me. But yeah, if you're new here and you're not subscribed yet, I would appreciate if you hit that subscribe button under the video, and also if you haven't yet hit the little bell underneath the video to turn on your notifications for the channel, you should totally do that, because apparently if you don't hit the bell, sometimes the YouTube algorithm just decides that like my videos aren't for you. Even if you're really into Blood Angels, YouTube's algorithm will do its little thing and decide that my videos aren't for you. So if you hit the bell, you can click like all notifications, and then every time I upload a video, you know, you'll get notified, so you won't have to worry about YouTube like hiding things for whatever reason. I need to replace all of my brushes. Looking for decent brushes at a fair price. I mean, I don't know, where are you based, Mark? You're in America, right? There is a guide on base sizes, right? Like if you're not sure what base something is on, there is like an official tournament guide about the correct base size. You can find it on Google, because I was looking for it just the other day. Sometimes there's a little bit of flexibility, but sometimes there's not. say that, but YouTube doesn't alert you half the time the stream starts. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that, because I put... Oh, I only know UK suppliers, unfortunately. I put a video, I put a community poll up about Commander Dante the other week, and like, I got a message from someone who just saw it today, right? And like, I put that community poll up like, let me see. The community poll about Commander Dante went up 1 week ago, it says, so at least 7 days ago. I actually think it went out on Wednesday night last week. And someone messaged me about it today, like, hey, I saw your poll on Dante. I'm like, yeah, I put that up like a week ago. So, I mean, I guess like YouTube just decided for a whole week that they didn't need to see the poll, and now today, for some reason, decided to show them it. So, I mean, YouTube decides many things, I guess. Yeah, I really don't understand why they're doing that with the third party bits, because like, if 90% of the model is the Games Workshop model, then guess what? You bought that model and you just didn't like 10% of it. Like, what's the problem with that? You know? Like, I really don't get the problem with that. Maybe I could understand if, like, you know how like there's that Wargame exclusive guys that like do alternative Mephistons and alternative Dantes and stuff. Like, I could understand saying those models can't come to a tournament, but like, not a Games Workshop model with like a different axe or a different sword or something like that. And also, what if you bought the model second hand, right? Because like, I got some second hand dreadnoughts over there. And like, I don't know if they're official or if they're recasts. Like, I have a, because the quality on them doesn't seem to be quite 100%. But here's the thing, they're Forge World models, and guess what? Forge World stuff isn't always 100%, right? Like, when I built that giant Forge World tank, you have no idea, like, I literally sat with it on my lap with like so much super glue on it and literally held it for like 2 hours, right? Like, I actually forgot about this, but for a while, every time I moved that giant tank, the Falchion, the one that I've got, I was convinced it was going to fall apart on me, right? Because like, it just didn't, the two bits just didn't go quite together, and I just put like so much super glue on it. Like, I actually got to a point, not with that Forge World model, but with another Forge World model, I got to a point where I had so much super glue in my fingers that like my fingers were actually starting to get sore, because they were all like the top layers of skin were all coming off my fingers, because like I just got so much super glue on them. And like, basically underneath the super glue on my fingers was, you could just see like little blood spots where like, I guess like the fingers were all contorted and glued in weird ways, and I had to pull them off and stuff, and just like lots of little like micro wounds on my fingers, I guess. So yeah, like, what if you've bought some models and you thought like, yeah, I'm not sure if they're legit, but they look pretty good, and then you go to a tournament and they're like, oh, prove it's legit. Well, how the fuck do I prove it's legit? I bought it second hand. Like, are we supposed to have like certificates of authenticity for Forge World models now? Are you joking? Like, and what about the models I bought 10 years ago where I don't have a certificate of authenticity? You gonna send me one out? It seems a very, I don't know. I don't know why they're targeting like what's. Here's the thing about like Cromlech, for example, because all my Vanguard veterans use Cromlech shields. You guys know this. Games Workshop do not put enough shields into the Vanguard veteran squad box for you to have every model with a shield, right? So for one, they don't put enough shields in the box. And then because they don't put enough shields in the box, the people on eBay want about $4 per shield. So, you know, I really don't. If they want to do this, then they should really offer a way to get these things without playing through the nose for them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I need several certificates of authenticity. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a bit silly, to be honest. I mean, as long as it looks like 90% what it's supposed to be, then I think they should just be fine with it. Like, do you know what? It would be different if GW were struggling, but like, GW keep posting like their revenue reports every year, and like, they make hundreds and hundreds of millions of pounds of profit, right? Like, at least, like, I'm pretty sure the last time there was like a news article about it, it was like GW made like this much profit. And when I was talking about it with my friends, we were saying like, so basically, they could probably afford to take like $5 off every single box they sell, right? And they would still be making like a lot of profit. So, like, why not just sell the bits that people need, and then not, you know, because it's the reason people do this is because of the scalpers, right? Like, go onto eBay right now, for example, and look for like a Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pad, because like I just said earlier in the stream, the Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads look really good on they look really good on Blade Guard veterans, right? Yeah, okay, so you go onto eBay, and here you go, the very first result, Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads. These are actually 3D printed, I think, because they don't look official. Yeah, I mean, they're on Gates, and they're charging $25. I don't even think those are the Forge World ones, because I bought the Forge World ones, and they don't look like that. So I don't know where they're from, but like, £25 for like, and 4 of those shoulder pads are not even Blood Angels. Those are just Crux Terminatuses. So basically, it's £5 per shoulder pad. £5 per shoulder pad. Like, who's doing that? I mean, this one's actually okay priced, right? Like, this was the one that I've got. So cool. Someone's selling one. This one is actually okay priced. Unfortunately, I'm not in the US, so. I don't, like, you know, the carriage for me is ridiculous, like $20, but maybe for someone in the US, like, that's a good deal. But here's one, 3 Blood Angels Terminator shoulder pads. I'm not even sure that's a Blood Angels one in the bottom right. I'm not sure what that is. I guess it is because of the blood drop, but it's maybe just one I've not seen before. But again, you know, these things are so expensive, even on eBay, these things are so expensive. So people have spent a lot of money on these things because Games Workshop don't make it easy to get them, and because they don't get it, you know, they obviously don't make it easy to get them, so people have spent a lot of money, and now they're going to say like, oh well, we don't care that you've spent a lot of money, you just can't use them. It's like, well, why didn't you just make it easy for us to get them in the first place? Like, if it'd been easy for us to get them, then wouldn't you have got the money from us anyway, rather than us going to eBay and spending through the nose for it? Because like I from time to time have bought parts for my models from eBay, but I guess it's like a more gradual thing, right? Because they are expensive. You're not just going to go straight out there and just be like, well, I'll just buy this, and this, because they're super expensive. But given time or given years in the hobby, yeah, I would have probably gone like, okay, you know, I've been wanting those shoulder pads for a while. I'll spend the $10 on the shoulder pads now or something. You know, it just seems mad. Aren't Gravis and Terminator shoulders the same? I don't think they are. I mean, no, they're slightly different actually. Gravis are slightly different from Terminator shoulder pads, 100%. I had to think about it for a minute, but no, they're different because they've got sort of like this pauldron-y type bit on them, whereas Terminators definitely don't have that. For some reason, I can't see what you wrote, Benjamin. I think my chat is frozen. Give me a second. Oh no, okay, you just press enter. I was like, what? Okay. I didn't know you could actually write nothing in chat. Alright. Cool, so we have got all the dry brushing done, and now I'm just going to do a little bit of tidy up on these guys. I did take out my gold paint because I figured I might need to do a little bit of tidying up. This pot of gold is very near the end. The gold in it does not stay wet very long at all. It's quite thick. Right, hopefully it's not going to take too long to tidy these guys up. I'm going to be painting these guys again, I think, Saturday night. I'm wondering how far we can get on Saturday night. I'm starting to feel these guys must... What did I write down on my sheet? I said that they were 60%. I think they must be coming up to 70% complete now then. And I might actually do a little bit of like washing on them on the next session, and then after that little bit of washing, what we might do is we might just base them, because I like to base them a little bit before they're finished. Because inevitably I always make some mistakes around their feet again, so again I'll end up tidying those up. Don't get gold all over the wing you've just painted, John, you idiot. But yeah, I think it sucks that you can't use any third-party bits, because I found some really nice heads. And again, like, you know, the nice Blood Angels heads that I found, they're different from how much Sanguinary Guard do we have anyway? Probably once I've done these 8, I think I'll have like 20. Because I've got, I think it was 6 or 7 that I don't run this edition. And when I say I don't run this edition, they have like, what do they have? They've got plasma pistols, which I don't really like anymore. I guess when I made them, I didn't hate plasmas as much. And they have power fists, and a couple of them actually have power fist and infernal pistols. So I reckon I have like probably close to 20 Sanguinary Guard. But only like 12 or 13 of them have the right loadout, which I think at the moment is swords and bolters or axes and bolters, and like maybe one with an infernal pistol. So I was quite happy to run the alternate loadouts last edition, but this edition it definitely seems like you're just best off running bolters and swords and axes. So it'll feel nice when I'm done with these guys, but I feel like it's only inevitable matter of time before something else changes and we're back painting Sanguinary Guard, or we finally get the Primaris Sanguinary Guard that everybody's been waiting for, I suppose. I mean, that wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if we had to paint some Primaris Sanguinary Guard, right? I think probably most people in chat would be quite happy to do that sooner rather than later, probably. Do you think they'd let you use the old Space Crusade miniatures for Forge World for a GW tournament? I mean, if they were on the right size base, they might. Yeah, you can't use bits apparently anymore, Mark. Which is my main, like, that's my main gripe. Like, I can get on board with like not using third-party models, but not using bits. You know, like if Games Workshop had sold the Storm Shields that I needed for a reasonable price rather than like $4 a Storm Shield, like when I needed Storm Shields, the first place I would have gone would have been like the Games Workshop website and been like, do they sell Storm Shields? Because I need like 10 of them. No. Let me check eBay. Oh, they're literally like $5 a Storm Shield, so I'm going to be $50 to buy the Storm Shields I need here. I'm not spending $50 on Storm Shields. I'm sure it's not just me, though. I'm sure other people have done the same thing, right? Primaris Sanguinary Guard or Blade Guard. I mean, well, if they had jump packs, maybe. I mean, I could get on board with Primaris Sanguinary Guard being similar to the Blade Guard in terms of like size and rules, you know, the 3 wounds and stuff. That would be pretty nice, actually. I'm building some Vanguard veterans for my Raptors with third-party bits. They say Power Claw and Storm Shields are the best, but it looks just silly. Yeah, I mean, I guess if you are using third-party bits, you just need to be aware now that, like, if you're ever going to go to an official tournament, it's just going to cause you headache. And I mean, I really don't agree with the thoughts behind it. Like, if 90% of the model is the official model, then you should be allowed a bit of customization, in my opinion. You know, some of the best models you've probably ever seen have been, like, customs, you know? It doesn't always... Thank Astro. We're working. We're trying. I reckon we were saying earlier, probably just before you got on, that I think these guys are about 70% now. We've got a bit to go on them, but we are just continually painting these guys on the stream. So I've been streaming these guys like twice a week for 2 or 3 hours, 2 times a week now for probably like a month. I reckon like 2 or 3 more sessions, maybe they'll be pretty close. I'm going to Warhammer World as a bucket list for me, but I'm not going to play there. I mean, I guess that's probably for the best with the new rules, man. But yeah, it does seem. I guess it does seem annoying. It means that if I ever wanted to go to Games Workshop tournament, I need to re-buy a bunch of models. Which, I mean, I'm not thrilled about, because the only reason that I don't have official parts is because they were too, like, you know, they didn't offer the official parts, so I'd know where I had to go to eBay. Or like, I actually generally don't like eBay because like I'm just one of these people that prefers getting stuff new. So if they had it, yeah, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm just upset about that change, I guess. Hopefully Primaris Sanguinary Guard have jetpacks and wings. I would hope so, I think. If they don't have jetpack, like if they I can't imagine that they wouldn't have the wings, right? I mean, worst case, I guess if they don't have the wings, then you'll probably have people buying up the original ones to convert them with the wings. Which is funny because some people absolutely despise the Sanguinary Guard wings. I actually kind of like them, but yeah, I know some people just despise them. Hey, good evening, Ross. How you doing? Good evening, John. Only Gravis dudes get packs, unfortunately. What do you mean only Gravis dude gets packs, unfortunately? Some third-party miniatures are straight out better than GW, like RTLW miniatures, and their Elder range about the same price. Yeah, I mean that's on GW as well for not refreshing some of their old models. I mean, like, I guess Dante and until recently Mephiston, right? Because like a lot of people bought that Mephiston that was sold by I believe the company's like Wargame exclusive. I've seen them advertise their models like to me on Facebook, I guess. I think it's something like Wargame exclusive, and they made an alternative Mephiston, which by all rights looked pretty dope, you know. When Mephiston was still the old model, I guess, like before the Primaris one, their Mephiston looked way better than the old metal one. And I think they make a Dante one now as well, and again, he probably looks a lot better than the old metal Dante. So it's kind of sad that people they've been forced to go to these other companies because Games Workshop haven't updated their range or whatever, and now they're saying like, well, if you did go to those other companies for any parts, not whole models, just any parts, then you can't use them. And they're also saying you need to have proof where you bought some of the stuff, which is ridiculous. considering like some of the stuff is, you know, some people have been playing this hobby for like 25 years. Where the hell they got proof? Oh yeah, I bought this from the Forge World shop in 1992, you know, like, what a joke. It's called Wargame exclusive, yeah. And yeah, I mean, before we got the new Mephiston, their Mephiston was generally really nice. I'd considered buying it a couple of times actually. Just I didn't know the company, and like sometimes a bit apprehensive. Like if you don't know the company, you don't know what you're getting. But I've seen a few people actually post like finished copies of it, and it looked pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're probably right. The current Dante probably isn't too bad. Considering he's made like 27 years ago, you're probably right. He isn't too bad. I wouldn't say he's great, and I wouldn't say he's inspiring, which I guess is possibly just what people are looking for now. But yeah, it's like 5 to midnight here actually, so I only got a few more minutes. So if there's any final questions, throw them in chat. But we do have a new video coming out tomorrow, and hopefully you're going to find it's a pretty cool video. And if you guys like it, it will be the first of a new series on the channel. So it's kind of a little bit different to the normal tactics video, but hopefully still pretty useful. And definitely useful if you're building army lists, which I guess we all do. I mean, we wouldn't be here if we didn't build army lists, right? So yeah, please, if you enjoy tomorrow's video, or even if you don't, you know, leave a comment on it and let us know if you'd like to see more videos like that. And also if you enjoyed it, or even if you didn't enjoy it, leave a comment. If you didn't enjoy it, you know, it's hard for me to improve videos without getting negative feedback, so it's fine to leave negative feedback, as long as you don't just say like, hey, this video sucked, because I mean, it sucked because, you know, so just leave a message saying what you liked, what you disliked. So yeah, that'll come out as always sort of same time on Friday. Rogue Trader, baby. My Dante's the metal one. The problem with the metal Dante is like he has a lot less detail on him. I feel like that's some of those older metal models. Some of the castings I feel like just weren't as high quality, I guess. Alright, I'm going to tidy up the gold on one more guy and we're going to call it a night. But I mean, that was a productive night. I think we got all the preview. Dante leading Primaris is like a Chihuahua leading Rottweilers. Is it that bad, is it? On the plus side, they probably can't make Primaris Sanguinary Guard without making Primaris Dante. Maybe that's one glimmer of hope we have. Because like you said, it would be a bit weird that the Sanguinary Guard are all now Primaris and Dante's still like Firstborn. So maybe we'll, you know, maybe that's a glimmer of hope. For this edition anyway. I did think of trying to share the vote we did on the community tab, where we got like, where did we get like 800 votes now, and like 80% of people think that Dante needs to be like a new model or an improvement or something. So I did think of like trying to share that with Games Workshop, but I honestly don't know where I'd share it or like who I could share it to. I did tag a couple of them, like the community people, in my Twitter, but like I don't use social media enough to have like a big Twitter following or anything like that. Just give Primaris jump packs. I mean, that would be the start, wouldn't it, Mark? If they just gave Primaris jump pack options, or at least made it like an option that you could add on, like, you know, put it in the Blood Angels Codex as like an addendum where it's like, you know, assault intercessors for Blood Angels can pay 2 points per model and take jump packs or something, and then just sell Primaris jump packs. Oh right, I'm with you. The Gravis armor gets the actual jump packs, yes, and the regular guys just get the. Well, the suppressors kind of have like, the suppressors don't have jump packs. They're almost like the grav shoots, but with like an extra little bit on them. Send it to them with an email or mail the screenshots. I mean, I could try that. Would there not need to be a story of them becoming Primaris first? There's a paragraph. I think my book is right here. Hold on. People always ask this, and like I'll tell you, because I know roughly in the Blood Angels Codex, right? If you have the Blood Angels Codex, jump to page 42 and read the bit at the very bottom. It says all Blood Angels have an innate affinity for aerial combat. Through the mutation that provided sanguineous wings has never been repeated, the Primarch's heirs maintain a love of flight that is impossible for those who do not share their heritage to understand. To a Blood Angel, a jump pack is no simple machine, or a Battlefield 2 is an extension of their physical form, a manifestation of the spiritual bond between Primaris and Scion, and a reminder that even in death, his hand still guides the chapter. This is true of Primaris Blood Angels, as it is of any son of Sanguinius. It goes some way towards explaining why many Blood Angels are naturally talented pilots. So, the Blood Angels Primaris have a great affinity for jump packs, however, they're not allowed them. They're on the naughty step, or whatever you want to call it. I think whoever was writing the lore didn't hook up with the person writing the design. I don't know why that paragraph's in there, but that's in the new codex, page 42, bottom paragraph. Anyway, it is past midnight now, guys, so I have to go to bed. But thank you for watching tonight. It's been fun hanging out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. We're back tomorrow with another tactics video, so make sure you turn on the bell to get a notification for when that goes live. And yeah, if you liked tonight's video, please consider smashing that like button as well. It does really help the stream out. And thanks for the new people. We had some new people in here tonight, new subscribers, so welcome to the world of the Blood Angels. You can, in the video description, we have a Discord group that you're more than welcome to join if you want to join us over there. We also have a Facebook group, you can find it down there as well. And yeah, we're usually live. I think we're live like 3 times every week: Thursdays, Saturdays, and Mondays. And then we usually have a video out maybe like Wednesdays and Fridays. So pretty much all my free time is spent doing Blood Angels related stuff, content or live streams. So hopefully we'll catch you guys around on another one. And thanks for tuning in, even if you did tune in later. Hopefully we'll catch you up on the next one, Ross. Alright guys, have a great evening. By the blood are we made strong. Peace.